David Moneymore, he'll be your first runner here in Hong Kong as a trainer this time around. What have you made of his preparation for Sunday?
Look, I've been really happy with his build-up. He's the lowest rated horse in the stable, and it would be nice if he could win, being my first runner. His track work suggests he's going very well, but he is a 25 rater, so you can't be too confident going in. But his trial was excellent.
Yes, he didn't trial like a 25 rater, did he?
No, he didn't. But I just got to keep telling myself he is. But it would be a lovely omen. Last time I was here, my first runner was a winner, and you never know. This fella's a reasonable chance.
A couple of gear changes with him as well?
Yeah, I just sort of felt we'll start from scratch with him, and he seems to have responded really well.
You've got 5 runners overall on the day for the opening day of the season. Do you head towards Sunday feeling like you've got a winner there first day of the season?
Look, I think we've got chances. It's always, I'm still feeling my way. They've all trialled and worked quite well. I'd say the one that's probably going to struggle a little bit is Monica, but I think all the others, it wouldn't surprise me if they weighed in.
And as we say, it's your first day of the races this time around in Hong Kong. It's been a long build-up. Are you looking forward to the games beginning?
Yes, I've been here now for 9-10 weeks, and there's not much we can do at this unfortunate time except work, and hopefully it'll pay a few dividends.
Joe, CHANCHENG Prince, he's a horse that you won his last 2 races on, in Griffin company though, stepping up to Class 3. How do you think he'll get on Sunday?
I think he deserves the opportunity to go up, and he deserves respect. He's been a very straightforward Griffin. He's done nothing wrong, and if he goes there and win, it's not going to be a surprise to me, as he's been so professional.
You've ridden him in his track work, also a trial leading into his first run back for the season. How's he come back this time around?
He's shown that he could have gone to a different level as maturity, and where he is at the moment in regards to his age and fitness-wise, he's far off than what normally horses at his age would be. So, as I'm trying to indicate, he is ahead of those horses that would be on the same age. So, is that going to be enough to put him competitive in the Class 3, up in the class that he's been in the past? We're going to have to wait and see on Sunday's race. But as I said, I'm not going to be surprised if he goes there and win again, as he did win his last 2 starts.
1,000 or 1,200 metres, what's his best trip?
For this time, I think 1,000, because in particular his last win, he kind of lost a bit of concentration the last 200 meters, and he nearly got caught. But he's shown that he's got ability, and he is a horse that is very, very far off of his very best. A horse that I'm very pleased and proud of being on board on his last 2 starts, and I'm quite convinced that we are going to see much more from him.
And how do you compare him with War of Courage, who you've also had a bit to do with both last season and also during the off-season?
I think he seems as good as. Age-wise, of course, War of Courage is having some advantage, and he deserves respect as well, as he's been very consistent in the class. But, I have won twice on that horse before, and I'm more than happy to stick with him. He's done nothing wrong in his last 2 starts.
Richard RATTAN, he's been a great horse for your stable for a number of seasons now. We know he goes well fresh. How's he returned for the start of this season?
Yeah, not bad, but as you said, he's turning 7 now, and his best days are certainly behind him. Has he got enough freshness and mental preparation to be ready first day? But I think his days against the big boys are over. So there are few opportunities for the horses rated at this sort of rating.
What was your assessment of his trial last week?
Very much par. He always trials well. He's he's a clean-winded horse, and yeah, you're right. His best run is when he runs fresh.
Definitely. And what will you be telling Chad Schofield with regards to the draw with him too?
Yeah, a bit awkward, the draw. We're aware of other horses in the race, obviously. The draw's got to be a negative as well.
Another horse in the race, Wishful Think, has his first run for the Dennis Yip stable. He's a horse that obviously had great success for your stable. When he left your stable, did you think his best days were behind him, or did he have more to offer?
Of course, I'm going to say he's nailed on to win the champion sprint this year. But no, more seriously, I think results have shown he's been a better horse than Rattan, off equal weight certainly. He'll be suited to the 12. He's another great horse. We took him from 70 to 120, so it's a bit of a laugh or cry moment running against him.
You're a trainer that's had great success here in big races, the Vars, the Cup, the Derby, Richard. We're starting the new season here in Hong Kong. What are your feelings like coming into the new season? What are your expectations for the stable?
We're low on numbers. We've got a lot of young horses in Australia at the moment, so a lot will depend on those guys coming through. But we're starting the season low on numbers, so the runners we do have, we've got to count.
Excellent proposal, Joe. You rode him in his first ever run. How's he going now leading into his second run here in Hong Kong and stepping up in trip?
No doubt he's going better than before. He has shown to be a bit more mature. His trial the other day was eye-catching, so he's definitely going to the race with a little bit more experience than what he has had in the past.
Was he not that great out of the gates in the trials?
Very much as he wasn't at the race at his first time out in Hong Kong. So I'm not too concerned about that, because it's just a matter of time until he get used to how it works over here, and he needs a little bit of more race experience until he's able to produce what he really got best on in regards to speed out of the gate. So I'm not too concerned about it.
And we're speaking to you 2 days before the first meeting of the season here in Hong Kong. You're the Magic Man, you've won 3 jockeys titles here. What's your vibe going into the new season?
My vibe is like I'm doing what I really love. I love being involved into horse racing. I love winning races, and I'm very fortunate to have great support of some nice people, and I have in hand some very nice horses that get me excited to be looking forward. So I'm one of those that can't wait until we get going.
Douglas, super wealthy. He's won his last 3 in a row, but we haven't seen him for quite a while. Why is that?
He had a knee issue, and it was my opinion with the vet's advice that we do surgery and remove a chip. He's come back from that in really good order. He's had a long, steady preparation, and a lot of slow work's gone into him, but he feels ready to go back to the track. He's obviously nowhere near his peak performance just yet. He's been off the track for a while. He's a little bit rusty, but you have to start somewhere, and I think it's a perfect opportunity for him.
So are you going in there thinking he can win, or is it just going to be good to have him back at the races and hopefully get through the race in one piece?
It's just an absolute blessing to have him back at the races. I think he's one of my better horses in my stable. He's got a very bright future. He's an amazing horse to sit on in the mornings. So just to have him back at the races is really good. He's a competitive individual, and he's been angry in his box and not been out there doing something which he does best. So to have him back at the races is good. I'm sure he'll be his competitive self, but I'd be very surprised if he won with the condition that he's in. As I said, I've given him a barrier trial. I've given him as much slow, long work, and it's time for him to go back to the races. But I will warn that he's nowhere near 100% fit.
Just on that barrier trial, he reared up when the starter let them go. Is that a one-off, or is he a horse that does have barrier issues, do you feel?
No, he's never done anything or indicated to me that he will do anything. As I said, he's ring rusty, so he was in the gates for quite a while, and when the gates did open, he came out, he hopped out. So that he would have gained a bit from that, and but no, he's never done anything silly in the gates before.
Super wealthy. Of course, you're a 13-time champion jockey here in Hong Kong. No truth to the rumour that he's named after you, Douglas.
Yeah, no, he certainly didn't get named after me. But look, to sit on a horse like him, it's horses like him that I wish I was still a jockey, because he gives you a really good feel.